get it, means we're getting it about 3 days. So, but we've been unusually warm. I mean, we're they call it the snow belt up here. We had 180 inches last year. It's probably 40 degrees outside right now, and but yeah, and then the south is freezing. Like I can't talk to anybody in the HVAC business below Maryland because they haven't stopped working for the last 3 weeks. It's just strange year. No problem. Perfect. So you should be able to see my screen, the agenda and the profit Rhino. Awesome. This is usually kind of a flow we like to hit. Pain points. You really kind of explained that to me here right when you called in, Sam. Introduction. We've already said hello to each other, so I'm really going to just kind of jump right into it. Everything we're going to look at today is going to be in our Profit Rhino standalone app. Keep in mind all the data, pictures, images, descriptions, task times, all that is what's available in the data transfer if you want to use another service and just send our data across there. So keep in mind, and don't tell anyone my secret password 1234 either. Don't let that secret get out. All right. Yeah, it's the only way I'll ever remember it. All right. So what we're looking at here, this is my iPad. This is just an iPad Air, I believe it's a 4, mirrored right to the screen here. As you can see, of course, this is going to be branded for your guys specifically. The only other really things to note on the home screen is the hotkeys. Your price book, your quote builder, your option builder. If you notice the images here coincide with the pictures, take you to the same place. Also, people always ask where these prices and stuff come from that I'm going to show you today. They're strictly a national average from California to New York, and we get them from a place called the National Billing and Estimating System. So that being said, we'll jump right into it here. Also, you'll see a little red dot everywhere I touch, just kind of help you follow along a little bit. So this is the home screen of Profit Rhino. Our big deal is images. We have over 1,700 custom images built in this book across the trades currently. When you purchase with us, you do get all trades. You mentioned you're in the HVAC, but if you guys get into plumbing, electrical work, we do have new equipment as well in here. Those books will be available for you. If not, at the time, we can turn these right off. So you won't see the electrical book, you won't see plumbing, drain cleaning, whatever it is, we'll turn them right off. Just make it easier and quicker and, flow better for your techs, your guys in the field here. So, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, perfect. So what we're going to do here, the main goal of how we've had this set up is we want to start right at the top of the funnel and get to the point as fast as possible, the point being the job that needs to be done with the customer. So if we're going to go in, we know we're doing the heating job. So let's go into the heating category. Next question we're going to ask is what kind of heating system are we working on? Hydronic, forced hot air, steam, oil. Again, if you guys aren't doing oil heat where you're at, we can go ahead and turn oil heat off. Nobody will see that, Sam. So let's jump into forced hot air. What's your most common forced hot air jobs? Your blowers, your sparkers, your controls, your filters, your venting. So here we can see that. So if we jump into blower wheels, this is really where I feel the images start really taking hold. If you need a direct drive motor, a belt drive motor, heat exchanger, belts, brackets, capacitors, anything, it's so easy to find with the images here. You can grab them almost instantly. The really great part about this is it's meant to be customer facing. So your tech can stand right next to the customer as they're finding things and looking at them. The customer feels that much more comfortable that the tech's showing them all this. They don't feel they're getting ripped off or something shady is happening at that point. So it's a really good rapport between the tech and the customer. Another thing you're gonna notice here is the two levels of pricing, and then we always have the you save column. We do this to try and help push your service agreements or your planned maintenance agreements. I'm assuming you guys are doing those programs. Awesome. So as you probably know, your guys probably don't sell them as good as you would hope they'd sell them, I'm sure. Um, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this up, and you know, as a consumer, Sam, if I put this in front of you and say you can spend 360 or you can spend 310, I know which one you're gonna pick every single time. And that's gonna kind of organically start that conversation about the service agreements. The customer asks how to save the money, and you can kind of keep it moving like that. Again, take some of the salesmanship away from the tech and move it into the technology here. So let's just kind of open one of these up. We'll take a quick look. And inside the price book, you're going to see, of course, the images. All you have to do is touch it. It'll come out full screen for you. You're also going to find a diagram with almost every single task. Again, not for your tech, more for the customer here. When they want to know why it costs $600 to replace this motor, you can pull out the diagram, kind of explain a little bit what's going on, what they have to take apart, what they have to do. And again, just try and ease the customer tech situation a little bit there with those. Then, of course, to the right here, very self-explanatory. We have the what we call the tech description, which is the brief description on the product itself. A secondary description, which includes the belt and the pulley as needed. And then also we have underneath what we call the customer description, and this is what the customer cares about, what this part does. It pushes air through the house 24 hours a day, etc. Below the two rates, again, always going to see that. And then the last thing here is the MPT, the minutes per task. We're assigning 90 minutes to do this job. That's what you're billing off of, 90 minutes. This is probably a 60-minute job, but we always put extra time in every single task for sales, setup, service, cleanup. So you're being paid for all your customer-facing time. Something you guys probably do already now. So again, that's if that seems high, that's the reason there. Any questions on the setup, the look, any of that at this point? Perfect, perfect. Next couple of things I want to show you are a couple of our selling techniques we've brought in. First one, I like to always compare to Amazon. If we take this blower motor and we put it on our quote, we're going to get our cross sells. And this is, again, like Amazon. Every time you buy something, Sam, they tell you, hey, Sam, every time somebody buys a blower motor, they get a pull and clean, they get a fan belt, capacitor, pulley, belt, filters, whatever you guys want to put on here. Completely up to you guys. Again, just another opportunity to try and raise that average ticket size, try and get the customer into something else where you're facing them. Also, if you use this toggle up here, we can offer these as add-on tasks. Since we've already charged the extra for sales set up here, this is actually going to take that off and only charge strictly wrench time. So if you'd like, you can offer those at a discount, and that's just on a toggle, so you can choose how to offer those. The next one I want to show you here, I'm actually going to have to jump in the AC category quick because it just doesn't work well in the blower motors, is our common alternative section. At the bottom of every task, we can put this if it's applicable. Again, hard with blower motors, but we're going to tell them this thermostat, it's perfectly fine. Heats come on, air comes on, everything works good, but we have these nicer thermostats. We'd really rather sell them a nice wireless or one of these Wi-Fi or a Nest or something like that. So we're going to let them know what their options are because they can't take another option if they don't know what it is. Again, let's just try and raise that average ticket price, get a little more out of each stop here. And again, this is completely customizable by you. You guys control all that. Very good. So any questions on that? If not, we'll walk it right through a tech scenario. I'll kind of show you how it's going to work in the field, and then we'll go and look at the customization side, and we'll see where it takes us. Sure. The as low as is a member. Like if we click on that, the 141 is the value rate, and if they don't have a service agreement, then they're going to have to pay the 130.44. So that's where that as low as price is. You can't offer these as add-ons like the other one. If you'll notice here, the prices really go down on them, or on some of them. You can offer them as add-ons if you'd like, and the best way to tell is the task number. If it's got that extra built in, it'll always have a T for a task, and if we take it out, it's going to have the A for the add-on. And that's also so your QuickBooks will know the difference between the two as well. Cool stuff. All right. So let's jump into a quick field scenario here. This clipboard is always going to really be your home screen for everything your techs are going to want to do. Let's take that blower motor off. And first thing you guys do when you go out on a call is the dispatch fee or diagnostic fee or trip charge, right? Perfect. So what we do here, this little green is going to be our hotkey. As you can see, it's got my diagnostic fees, my warranties, my service agreements, all my stuff's here. Even the notes are there as well. So we just go to my diagnostic fee. I have mine set up on a few different levels. We'll just charge them the $60 there. And something we do different than everybody else is we're going to get a signature now. We're going to tell them this is a fee for you to drive out and find the problem. Even if they don't do the work, they have to pay it. And it's a lot easier for you to collect if we have a signature on paper. So we're actually going to get a signature. Let them know that they'll just explain to them what this fee was. So after that, we're going to go obviously diagnose the problem. We'll say it's a blower motor again, since we just looked at one. Now we can either go in here and go into the price book, go to heat, forced hot air, go to the blower motor and pick it out. Or we can go to the option boards, 1, 2, 3 here. You can make one on the fly. For time's sake, we'll use a pre-built one today. And this is good, better, best pricing. Option pricing, pre-built for you guys. So we just go into heating, go into the blower motor, open it, and you can see I have 3 levels of pricing here. I have a critical, a recommended, and a like new pricing level. And then if I just go to this little eyeball guy here, it's going to turn that directly into a branded PDF quote that can be emailed or printed directly from the tablet to the customer. It's going to say each option, quick summary of what's in it, as well as the prices. Again, we're highlighting that member price. And then on subsequent pages, you're going to see the images along with the descriptions, the financing, all the information as well. And again, these are printed or emailed directly from the tablet to your customer. So very cool there. And then, so let's just add this recommended one. We'll add that to the quote, jump back here. At this point, we can talk about the service agreement. If they have one, we can just add it from the green button. Let's say they do already have one, so all we have to do is tap it to give them the value rate. Next thing here is what I call the money box, for lack of a better term for it. This allows you to actually charge different tax rates job to job, which is really a big thing in some areas because the tax rates really vary from town to county. Some places not so much, but you can do it individually. You can also turn tax right off, and you can do discounts by percentage or by dollar amount here at the bottom as well. Senior discounts, military discounts, whatever you guys are doing. As far as the financing, do you guys do any of the third-party financing stuff? Awesome. So what this is just a jump page to another web page. So whatever your finance company is, we just put their URL in the back end. And this is going to jump right out to it. Mine's set to Payzer. And the customer can actually apply and be approved for that financing directly on the tablet with your tech right there at the home. We've really got some great feedback about this improving some close rates on the bigger jobs from some of our companies here. And again, Wells Fargo, Synchrony, GreenSky, whatever you're using, it's just a URL in the other side there. So after we get through all that with the customer, we're going to get an approval, right? Of course, they love the work when you guys are done. So we'll get a signature acceptance as well. When we're done, we go back to the quote screen, and everything here is a branded invoice. Again, your information here, your tech, the service. We're going to highlight what they say with that service agreement so they feel good about it. Signatures transfer, customer information. We skipped that step for time, but that would be there as well. Again, printed or emailed directly from the tablet to the customer. Really cool stuff there. What we're going to do also here, before we get off here, I'm just going to quick put this in as a SAM test, and we'll come back and find this here in just a minute. I'll even spell test right. So, yeah. Perfect. So any questions on the flow, anything we saw today, anything you want to go back and take another look at? If not, we'll jump in the web end and look at the customization stuff. Um, Correct. What you can do though, it will hold your contacts, just like any tablet here. So all you'll have to do is just transfer your contacts list from QuickBooks or wherever you guys have it into your contacts here, and then they'd all go right live to the tablet. So just hold them just like they do in your phone or whatever there. Or a lot of times companies don't want to give their Texas information for obvious reasons that come up in the business. So a lot of times they'll just send them the information when they dispatch to them. Give them the customer's name, any pertinent information, the address there, and then kind of keep them out of the contacts. Just what happens in the business sometimes. So. Mhm. Perfect. Awesome. And that's one thing we don't have. We don't have a dispatch service here. Most of our customers use a light dispatch, sounds like what you have, or honestly, probably 80% of people just dispatch right through a Google Calendar, an Outlook calendar, something like that, just because it's easy and it's free. So just something to keep in mind. So awesome. So let's jump on the web end here and take a look at that stuff. So this is the backside. This is really where you're going to make all your changes. Here we can go in, and this is where you're going to put your hourly rates. We can do your service agreement discounts, taxes, and then parts markups here. You're probably familiar with this table where your high cost parts, or excuse me, your low cost parts, we mark up very high percentage. The higher the cost, the lower the markup. Again, completely customizable like everything else here. No, I don't want to delete the record. And if you mess with it and decide you don't like it, we have an industry default here that'll always reset this chart to the way you're looking at it right now, which is cool. You can mess with it and not have any problems with it. Also, thing to show you here is the drop-down box. This allows us here, we're in the plumbing book, I have it billed at 190. If I jump into the heating book here, you see I have it 160. Each book is independent of each other. So we can do different bill out rates, different service agreement discounts, different parts discounts, basically set up the book 9 different ways across trades, which is really cool if you're doing a bunch of different trades. You don't have to bill everything the same amount of time and stuff there. So really that's how you set up that stuff. Any questions with that? Oh, awesome. All right, Sam. Next one here is manage book. This is where we're just going to control what they see. We talked about this a little bit. If you guys aren't doing electrical work, we turn off the electrical book. I get kicked out of the system. Well, any questions here while we're logging back in? Exactly. What we're looking at, this is what you or your office manager, your techs, your guys on the road are never going to see this end. This is strictly managing stuff. So exactly right here, we can turn the book off so they can't see the book in the field. You want heating to be number 1, you just make it number 1. That'll show up first left. Again, just housekeeping stuff, but the better organized you are, the better things are going to work for you here. My next sheet here is tasks. This is just where all the tasks are housed. This is where you can come in, build your own tasks if you don't have the ones we like here, and then also change or update what we have in here. So if we go into that blower motor, again, we can change the task name, the description, the marketing description, the times, and then we looked at the add-on time. Remember, it reduced that time. This is where that reduction is coming from. If we made this an add-on, it's going to bill 15 minutes less labor. That's where the discount's coming from. So you can change these times, and that's how you can adjust the discounts that'll go to things when you put them on that toggle. And then obviously the parts down here, it's going to say your cost and then what you're retailing them out at. Also, just to point out, this miscellaneous, all your nuts, bolts, screws, washers, that kind of stuff is all just in as a miscellaneous part, simply because you can imagine if we put every size of screw and washer and bolt standard metric, it's just enormous amount of clutter that's not necessary at all. So just keep in mind when you see that stuff, again, these are 5 parts for a total of 60 cents. So very good. Next one's calculations. Sam, this is just going to tell you on this particular job, you spent 195 in parts, 150 in labor. You resold it for 240 and 376. And depending on the value, standard or premium rate, this is going to tell you what you made in dollars or in profit percentage. So just cool for stuff you do a lot. Make sure you're making the right amount of money. Or I always tell people, if you ever build a task from scratch, click on this tab and you can almost instantly see if you built it right just by looking at those 6 lines right there. So again, just a nice spot check for you. Categories, very simple, just where this task is found. It's in the heating, forced hot air, blower wheels, and motors. Next one here is going to be marketing, and this is where we can control the cross sells that come up and then the upsells there at the bottom. Again, we just have to add a task and just click on it, and that later log will go right in there just like that, and then it'll show up at the bottom for you guys here. Images, this is the fun one. All these images can be changed. If you guys don't like these, you can add your own. You can also change them if you want the diagram to come up first. Just make that number 1. You can add images from any library. A lot of time your manufacturer will give them to you, but the funnest thing is this is attached directly to Google Images. So you can put any word, part numbers, stock numbers, all work, and just crop it, upload it, and put it right in your price book. That easy. So really cool there if you want to do your own pictures or just mess with your guys once in a while. I have a customer who's quite a character. He went in one night, I think he was sipping on the bottle a little bit, and he changed all his tasks to pictures, different pictures of Taylor Swift. He told me he put like 80 pictures of Taylor Swift in his book one night, just to mess with his guys. So if you got that kind of money to just mess with your guys on the road like that, good for you. But again, you can have a little fun that way, so it's nice. And then accounting here is just, it's going to tell you if it pays commission, yes or no. If it's taxable, again, just yes or no, not a dollar amount. And then account here is what bucket we're going to send it to. So all your heating stuff will go to one place, all your plumbing go to another, electric go to another. So when we export it for QuickBooks, everything's where you want it. Any questions on that, Sam? I know that's really kind of a lot of information jammed in that little part there. Correct. No, all these are specific to this belt drive blower motor here. And if we went into, say a direct drive blower motor, it's going to have its own set of matrix. So every task in the book has this page that you can customize. Cool. All right. Next one is parts. I don't like to talk about parts because we all call them something different in different parts of the countries. The biggest thing you guys need to know is all we have to do is get a list from your distributor of what parts you're using, and we can just load it in here. That way you have the same parts numbers, same parts names, and the pricing's already done. That is the easiest way that the majority of people do. Of course, we do have 2,800 parts. If you want to sift through ours, you're more than welcome. But really the only reason I stopped is to show you this update cost by product line. We built this for copper, refrigerant, that stuff that just fluctuates all the time right here. Copper fittings and pipes went up 6% last week. Update it. It's going to update every piece of copper in my book by 6%, pricing it accordingly with my parts markup, which is really a big deal. In the old days, either you went through and you changed hundreds, if not thousands of tasks, or most likely you probably just took the hit on the price increase. So now you can kind of go with this stuff in real time, which is cool. Next thing is option boards. This is just where those pre-built option boards are held. Remember, we went and pulled that good, better, best option. This is where they are. You can go in and you can change ours if you'd like to, do updates to that. You can actually build your own right here if you'd like to build your own from scratch. And then also, if you remember when we did that, we used a pre-built one for time, but you could build your own on the spot. If we go to this tech option list, it's going to show us every list or every board that's been built on your system. Tech 1 built these, Tech 2 built these. And you can go in and look at them. And if you look at them and you like them, they're working, you can actually share them with everybody else on your system, which is really cool. Sometimes you may make that tech a little mad, but the name of the game is making money, right? So perfect. Next section here is customers. This is where your customers are going to be housed. If you remember here, Sam Test, I think you know that lady. Go to view here. We're going to see all Sam's information here that we have put in, any kind of internal notes. And then if we click invoices, we're going to go here and we're going to be able to see any invoices that we've issued for Sam, just like this one we did just a few moments ago. And then also you can come here in options and you can see what options we offered Sam. So if you call me back in 2 weeks and say, hey, I want that recommended option you guys showed me, hang up the phone, I can look on here, see what it was, pull the parts, make sure they're ordered, dispatch a tech to go, which is really cool. Also, you can come here and check to make sure your techs are offering the right stuff or offering options at all. So you'll be able to go in here and see what's offered to the customer. Again, this is all cloud-based. It's saved for as long as you guys are a member with us, so you don't have to worry about it expiring. The next tab down here is invoices. Really, these two are pretty redundant. This is just a faster way to get to the invoice in the options. Same thing as hitting SAM test and going, and then this one we have to hit SAM test to go to the customer. So it's really just what do you want, customer information or invoices faster. They both take you to the exact same place. And then lastly here is reports. This is just where you pull our reports from. If you want to pull them by trade, by parts, sensitive parts, task, rep in the field, pull them by anything you like here. Everything comes out in an Excel format unless you choose to format it in QuickBooks, ServiceTitan, the most common ways out here. And then this is where you just, again, do all your reporting. Use QuickBooks, I assume? Perfect. So what we do, it is a two-step process to get it into QuickBooks. If you sign up with us, we give you what's called the QuickBooks integration. Basically, it's an upload into QuickBooks that's going to tell them all our task numbers, parts numbers with the prices and everything. So then we're going to just run the export from here and put it right into QuickBooks. QuickBooks will be able to identify all of our task numbers, your customers, everything, and do its thing. It's nothing more than pulling it out of ServiceTitan Profit Rhino and putting it into QuickBooks, but it is a two-step process. So I just always like to be clear because people always want the one touch, which unfortunately we don't currently have. And Sam, really, that's all I have for you. That is our standalone app. If you wanted to import our data into another service, absolutely we can do that. Most services you will get the pictures. Some don't take the pictures. Other than that, the upsells, cross-sells, all that stuff works. The only thing that we hold personal to us and don't give away in the field services is those option boards, those pre-built option boards with a good, better, best pricing. Those won't transfer into another field service. Exactly. Everything but this one little box here that has all these pre-built boards would. So you'd still have all the customization, all the parts, all the pictures, task times, everything there. You just won't have these pre-built boards. And a lot of them let you offer the boards. You just have to build them yourself. So other than that, and then let's talk about getting you started if you want to go with us here. To get you started here, we don't do any kind of contracts, commitments, service agreements like that. You're always a month-to-month customer from day one. We really feel like that gives us a vested interest in helping you guys succeed. So if you guys sign up with us, this is, for lack of a better word, it's kind of a hand-holding process we go through with you guys to get you set up. We're going to audit your price book, make sure your new equipment install stuff is right. We will train your office staff to look at the back section we just did. We'll also train your managers and your techs as well on how to use the app, the upsells, the cross-sells, all those tools as well. Let you guys loose with it in the field, see if you can break it, bug it, that kind of stuff. And when you're ready, go live. It is a true 4 to 5 week process, depending on your availability for meetings. I'm sorry, I just completely lost everything in my head for a second there. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes it goes shorter, sometimes it goes longer. The biggest determining factor is always customer availability. So just keep that in mind as we're going through. And then as far as price, for our standalone app, everything you saw there, option boards, invoicing, cloud-based, it's $55 per user. We only consider people with tablets in the field users. So if you have 3 service guys, you're looking at $165. There's no charge for administrators, office staff, managers. Really, you're paying for those option boards, upsells, cross-sells, presentation tools. So just the people using that have to pay. And then we do a one-time charge of $12.99, and that is strictly just to cover all the training and setup and auditing and that stuff here. If you want to export the data and just use our data, the pricing is a little bit different. That is $179 a month, but that is company-wide. So you can have 100 techs, 100 office staff, put your kids, your mother-in-law in there. It doesn't matter. It's always $175 a month for the data export. You wouldn't pay the $55 a year here. This is just something I have. So the success training is the same, just depending on how you want to use the data in our app or in someone else's app. The pricing structure is just a little different. Correct. That's the $12.99 is either way. And if we want to do both, we actually have people who export the data, but they still pay the $55 a user just for our presentation tool, just for those option boards and I'm sure I'm biased, but I really feel like we have one of, if not the best presentation tool on the market right now. So if you want to do that, use both like some people do. Again, it's one cost. We're setting up one book for you. So no matter how many different services you're using, we're not going to charge you just twice to set up the same book. It's not good business. We can pair with most all softwares. Again, some are going to take our images, some aren't, which I think is a big thing because I think images are also, one of our huge features here. Really, the only one probably you're looking at that we don't currently export into is called House Call Pro. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. And actually, we've been talking with them. We're trying to get in their app store and get something going with them as we speak. But their current business model is if you put your price book on House Call Pro, every member of House Call Pro throughout their entire system can see your price book and use it. So for obvious reasons, if we put one book on there, everybody has it. So we don't go to them, but pretty much everybody else. Probably you're looking into the Descos, the Field Edges, the Successwares, that kind of stuff. Absolutely, we go into all those.
I tried. I was trying there. He was pretty set.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead. Can I just get a little bit of information from you so I can put you guys in our computer here, Sam?
Yeah, I definitely was stumped.
What's the last name, huh? Perfect. And is this an okay phone number to put on the account?
That was pro field fell.
Yeah, I was trying.
Good stuff. Not looking good tonight, Joey.
Sure. What's that number? Perfect. And as far as an email, do you want me to use the one we just used, or would you prefer to have another one here on file?
Cigarette.
Perfect. Awesome. And you guys just HVAC? Awesome. All right, very good. What I'll do here for you is I can actually just take the demo we were just on here. I can convert it and I can put it on a private YouTube channel and send you the link if you'd like. And that way you can go back and watch it or share it with anybody else there if you'd like to. I'll shoot that over for you here. And then also I'll include, do you want me to include the users, the data, both? Do you have an idea which way you guys are leaning?
Hi, Monique. This is Justin. I was wondering if I could speak.
Sure. It actually, Sam, you bring up a great point there. Our standard book that you're looking at here, we do update twice a year. Every 6 months, we update it. But once you purchase it, we stop doing that for the reason that once you go in and make any changes, customize stuff, if we run a price book thing, it's going to just run everything over top of it and change it. So we don't do it automatically, but we will do it every 6 months if you ask. So you just have to ask us. That way there's no surprises on anybody's end. You don't want to come in Monday and saw that we ran a price update and half your stuff is gone. You're not going to be a happy camper, right? But we will do it, we will run it if you guys on your request. It's no charge or something we'll do for you guys every 6 months if you want. Again, simply for that matter, we just do it on request instead of automatically because, again, surprises that nobody likes. So yeah, keep that in mind. We'll definitely do that for you guys as well. So perfect. You're all set. I'll put that over. Let me just end this video, save it, convert it over. I'll send you a link to the YouTube, my private YouTube channel there. I'll send you over the success schedule as well as the pricing here. And that way, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And if I don't hear from you maybe a week or so, I'll just follow up and see how you're doing. You're very welcome. Thank you.